I grew up in a godly Christian home here in the Metroplex. Learned who Jesus was at an early age, accepted Jesus at an early age, and am extremely thankful for that. But I got to know Jesus through my married life is when I learned who he really was. My beautiful wife Rachel and I met actually here at Lake Church many years ago. I won't say how long, but we have been married almost 20 years now. We met in the college and career group here, became good friends through ministry opportunities and just loving on peers that led to an amazing relationship, and we were married about a year and a half after we met here at the church. We were working through some things with Rachel's health, and through that we're told that we can never have kids. And 4 weeks later we found out that we were pregnant, and God did an amazing work. So our twins, Jessica and Caitlin, were born. 5 months after that, we found out we were pregnant again with Rebecca. Rachel's pregnancy with Rebecca, she had some real significant health issues and went into full heart failure. During that time, Rachel was hospitalized. Her ejection fracture in her heart function was down to the point where they were putting her on a transplant list. And I remember being told that as she's in the hospital, and the cardiologist comes up to me and says, "You need to pick. You either adopt your baby or you keep your life." And I remember standing there going, how do I make this decision? And this doctor, who professed to not be a believer, immediately walked up to me and said, "I heard what he said, and you ignore him. Because if anyone can take care of her and that baby, it's the God that you serve." And I remember hearing that come from a man who said, "I don't believe in any of this, but I've seen what God has done in y'all, and so I know he'll do it for you." Jesus was never so real. I went from that 10 seconds of I have to make a choice between my daughter and my wife to Jesus using the tool I never would have thought to say, I am right here and I am through this. In 2018, Rachel contracted West Nile virus while we were on vacation up in South Dakota seeing family. Got incredibly sick, ended up having a stroke and a heart attack at that point, and completely debilitating. Her whole right side failed. Doctors didn't know what was going on. We found the West Nile virus well after the fact. During that, Rebecca, our youngest, got so sick where we ended up taking her to the ICU, and they had to intubate her because her airways were swelling so quickly that they were afraid she would suffocate. And I remember looking around that room at Cook's Children's, and there were 26 people in scrubs, all for my daughter. They all had a purpose and they were there for her. And Jesus said, I'm right here. I've put her in a position where she's taken care of. And I'm doing the same thing for your wife. Rolling a few years later, we had a situation come up. A generational curse of sexual abuse reared its ugly head in our family. As the leader of a household, as a father, I'd failed. My role was to protect her. My role is to make sure that nothing can hurt my wife, nothing can hurt my daughters that I'm responsible for. And situations and things that I placed them in did exactly that. We were able to attack it head on. Sin doesn't have a place in a family, especially generational sin. It has to be dealt with. Through that time, God brought us back actually here to Lake Church. A lot of it's through impact. We were able to find some things that we really needed, that Rachel needed, that the girls did, through the connection with Alliance for Children. It was just time. And God brought amazing relationships for my daughters in the youth group and everything at that point at the season that it needed. So I've been so thankful. I don't have it together. Thank goodness I haven't figured it out. I'm still relying on him. As my children say, I'm just the old bald guy now. But I'm the old bald guy that is learning that these things that Jesus has done in my life and in my wife's life is so we can remember and we can pour into that next generation. We can pour into those that haven't walked through some of these things yet, but are going to, because life is hard. It's not promised to be easy, but Jesus is the same God yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and he's going to be there for them just as he was for us. So we're so excited, and I'm so excited about the next chapter he's got for us because of what he's done.